Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
We are his voice now, and we're looking for the people that hurt him.
A San Antonio mother seeking answers after her family members were shot. Tonight, we'll take you to the Vigil.
No later than Wednesday of next week, Uvalde CISD's attorney says that we should have the district's remaining records into the Robb Elementary School shooting by then. So why that date? We all know this. Water isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. However, some people in the Spring Branch area have been dealing with discolored water for almost a month.
They tell the Night Team's John Paul Barajas, even with that nasty color, they're being told it's safe to drink by their water company.
To be blunt, it looks like it could be urine.
Yeah.
And that is safe to bathe in and to drink according to your water company.
According to the water company.
When you turn your faucet on at home, you expect it to be clear and clean. And although it looks clear right now, when you start to fill up your cup, you can quickly notice that there's a distinct yellow tint to it. It's something that residents in the Spring Branch area say they've been dealing with for weeks. This right here is a comparison between tap and bottled water.
The first time I saw it, I was very concerned. I called my husband and said, hey, look at this, what's going on? I thought maybe there was like a break inside of a line or something in the pipe, that maybe dirt got in it or something.
And for some, the water has been completely brown at times. It's something those living in the preserve at Singing Hills and the Crossing at Spring Creek neighborhood say doesn't seem to be getting any better, and they're not sure if this is lingering effects from the hill country floods.
And I started thinking maybe, it just touching our skin, they're going to cause rashes.
Both communities rely on Texas Water Company, and they've complained to their water provider, who sent them this response. There's no safety concerns for the water at this time. The discoloration is primarily due to iron and manganese, naturally occurring minerals.
When your water company says that is safe to drink, would you pose the question to them, would they drink that?
My wife did pose that question to them, and it wasn't really a response. They kind of skirted the question.
According to the Environmental Protection Agency, both minerals Texas Water Company are citing for the discolored water are safe to drink, but only in small amounts. The EPA's advisory level for manganese is 0.3 milligrams per liter for adults and 0.1 milligrams per liter for infants due to concerns for neurological effects.
How do we know if they're testing exactly how much is there? If the color fluctuates from day to day, how do we know their testing doesn't fluctuate from day to day?
We have contacted the Texas Water Company, the TCEQ, and the Guadalupe Blanco River Authority for more information on the residents' water quality. We are still waiting to hear back. In the meantime, families are sticking to bottled water and minimal and quick showers.
Bathing in brown water is kind of gross.
That was John Paul Barajas reporting. To other news now, a suspect in the death of an SAISD student, Simone Cuevas, is dead.
The Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office says that Cesar Tijerina was pronounced dead this afternoon. You remember that on Friday, the 20-year-old was airlifted to a hospital in San Antonio. Investigators at the time said that he had shot himself in the head at a home in Laredo. Tijerina was wanted for capital murder in the shooting death of 14-year-old Simone Cuevas, who was killed back in April. Investigators have another suspect in custody, and they're still looking for another person, a minor, who they're not yet identifying.
And tonight, a San Antonio mother calling for answers. Her son shot and killed last week, found dead on a West Side sidewalk.
And hours earlier, that man's father was also shot. San Antonio police confirming today that those two cases are related and that a suspect is still out there. And as police investigator Avery Everett takes us to a vigil tonight where a community gathered to mourn.
Peace in the place of tragedy. These candles burn where Johnny Montoya's body was found just more than a week ago. He was shot and killed at only 30 years old.
For him to go like this was really, really bad. It was ugly the way he went.
Johnny was found shot dead on the sidewalk of Doris Street just before 11 a.m. on August 16th. But hours earlier, SAPD found his father, David Richard Montoya, shot here, 500 feet away on South Calaveras Street. He was taken to the hospital and died 5 days later. SAPD confirmed these two shootings were connected.
It's heartbreaking because we lost two at the same time.
and for no reason.
Police have not arrested anyone in either case, and SAPD has not publicly named a suspect. That's why Johnny's mom is calling on the community.
Come forward and let the police officers know who it was for him, for his sake, so it doesn't happen to anybody out here again.
Father, we just come together right now, Father God.
Monday night, family and friends all came together, praying he's found peace.
He's with God already. I want him to be remembered happy, respectful, and always giving. That's him.
On Wednesday, his family will hold a funeral.
There's no words to describe for a mother losing a child, and then their father, so that's even harder.
Hi, Johnny.
A message of love sent to the skies, and it's one the San Antonio mother hopes her son will see. Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
Look at this guy.
A woman rushed to the hospital this morning after being shot in the head in southeast Bexar County.
And Bexar County Sheriff's deputies say that when they got to Hensey Road, they saw a woman. She had been shot. They found her inside a truck in a driveway. Investigators also found the gun that may have been involved in that case. They say that a 67-year-old man who may have been in a relationship with the woman is a person of interest in the case. A neighbor confirmed the house at the location is empty, but also happens to be a hot spot for people who go there to break down scrap metal. As for the woman, she was in surgery this afternoon.
What do you say to the families who've been waiting for more than 3 years for these answers?
You've been with these families for all these years.
How do you make it right? It's too late, they feel. So is there anything you can do besides ask for your job?
We're releasing all the documents as the board has said.
That's Uvalde CISD's attorney after admitting that his firm failed to release all the district's records from the Robb Elementary School shooting 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, they promised to release them all. In the last half hour, the school board unanimously voted to make those documents public by next week. Our Danielle Ibarra live in Uvalde tonight, where the board debated the release of more of these records for hours tonight. Daniela.
Yeah, Stephen Stefania, that attorney you just heard from, walked out of these doors behind me. This is where that boardroom meeting is. And the school board is actually still meeting on several other agenda items, but they were behind closed doors for more than 2 hours talking about the failure of releasing these records from the Robb Elementary shooting. And let me tell you, when they came back into open session, it was incredibly emotional. Several of the board members were crying, some of them angry, and they say that this was a critical mistake. Now, to walk you through everything, just a couple weeks ago, you might remember the school board released several records, more than 3,500 pages of documents to be exact. A judge ordered their release this summer after KSAT 12 and several news agencies sued more than 3 years ago to get the public records. But we've since learned there are documents from the district that we did not get. So tonight, the board says that includes more than 8,600 emails. We also heard from a former Robb Elementary employee who DPS wrongfully accused of leaving a door open for the shooter back on May 24th of 2022. She says she wants the district to make everything public.
You say you stand for transparency, but you have withheld the very footage that will clear my name.
Okay, so what you're looking at is part of the surveillance footage that Franco is talking about. And the only reason you're watching it is because it was leaked to another news outlet, the Austin American-Statesman, several years ago. Uvalde CISD says they don't have that video anymore. They say that they turned it over to DPS, and when they have asked for that video back, DPS hasn't answered them. So that's one thing that they talked about inside. They're still waiting to release these records, but they say that we should be able to get the records for ourselves by the middle of next week. Stephen Stefania.
Daniela, thank you.
We need to do this right now. We need to have this in place before next summer. We need to be able to entice our tourism business and campers business back to Kerr County next year and tell them we got a state-of-the-art flood warning system.
Busy day today for Kerr County commissioners as they voted on a number of flood-related topics during court today, including approving a plan to put a new flood warning system along the Guadalupe River. It's about saving lives, they say. Today, Kerr County commissioners voted to move forward with that flood warning system. It's supposed to provide life-saving alerts to people in flood-prone areas.
So here's the deal now. A group of people from Kerr County, the Upper Guadalupe River Authority, and the cities of Kerrville and Ingram, they're supposed to be working together to create a draft and also requirements for how that new warning system is going to work and how it needs. So they have 1 month to do that, and then they're supposed to present those results to city commissioners. And then after that, leaders will have another 6 months to implement a solution. Meanwhile, crews continue searching for people and also clearing debris from last month's flood. And that's a big deal for people near Ingram Lake because they want commissioners to drain that lake. More than 600 people signed a petition to drain Ingram Lake. They just say that it smells. They say it's polluted, it's unsafe, and they want to remove anything there that's dangerous. So what are the commissioners saying now? Well, they're saying it's not feasible for them to drain the lake right now because the focus is on the recovery. And they also mentioned holding a workshop with the neighbors in the future.
And while the Hill Country continues recovery efforts, people continue to ask if the Guadalupe River is safe to use yet. Can they get into it? The Upper Guadalupe River Authority says the river is within normal water quality levels, but advises the public to be careful. At a Kerr County Commissioners meeting this morning, a business owner who works along the river asked the court for approval to allow guests to use the river along her property.
We can't take on that kind of liability to say go get on the river. It's your property. It's private property.
You have the right to
and I would not tell you you can't.
Meanwhile, the city of Kerrville says you can't use the river. A spokesperson for the city of Kerrville told KSAT people cannot swim, kayak, or boat along the Guadalupe River there.
Coming up tonight, there's a new law in Texas that requires public schools across the state to display the 10 Commandments in classrooms. And school districts are coming up on a deadline pretty soon.
Governor Greg Abbott said to approve new Texas congressional maps. Coming up, we're going to break down what that means for you.
Governor Greg Abbott now expected to approve new congressional maps that could send 5 more Republicans to Congress. The Texas House and Senate have already passed them. So right now you might be wondering exactly what those maps mean for you.
Yeah, redistricting, as you can tell from these maps, this is what it looks like now. That's the proposed map. It can shift who represents you, which can change how much power your voice has. You're going to remember it started when President Donald Trump asked Texas to redraw their congressional maps to make 5 districts more favorable to Republicans so they can keep control of the House in 2026. The governor and lawmakers followed his orders, sparking a national response, including multiple states that are considering redistricting to combat what's going on here in Texas. So how does that affect the average voter?
What you see is that changes in public opinion become unable to be registered in changes in government. And that's a problem because it short circuits representation, which is the key to our entire system.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott has said he plans to sign the measure into law in coming days. Critics say it dilutes the power of the minority vote. Groups like LULAC and the NAACP plan to sue. Meanwhile, Democratic leaders in other states are responding. Last week, California approved a ballot measure that would suspend the state's current congressional districts and replace them with another map that favors Democrats.
More than 1,000 school districts in Texas have exactly 1 week left to put the 10 Commandments on display in all of their classrooms. And that is a reminder that's coming down from State Attorney General Ken Paxton. However, 11 districts, including local ones like Alamo Heights, Northeast, Northside, and Lackland ISDs, they don't have to follow the new law. And that's because they filed a lawsuit and won. The federal judge hearing that case said the 10 Commandments law crossed the line from, quote, exposure to coercion. The law requires that all classes in all public schools show the 10 Commandments. Supporters say that it can help students behave better. The law takes effect on September 1st. Soon, it may be easier for you to get a drug that's aimed at treating parasites and things like head lice and scabies.
Yeah, we're talking about ivermectin. Right now, you need a prescription to get it, but House Bill 25 changes that. The drug was popular years ago after some claimed it could treat COVID-19. That led to a big jump, though, in poison control calls. Now, if the new law passes, pharmacists would have to give clear, proper use instructions to each patient and report how much they sell each year.
San Antonio leaders have a problem. City staff say that revenue from property taxes, sales, airports, hotels, and development, it's just getting a lot slower than they expected.
And that's likely to leave the city about $10 million short this year and lead to a deficit of nearly $31 million next year. So the city wants your feedback when it comes to how it should spend your money. Tomorrow there'll be 2 town hall meetings, one at Normal Oil Community Center, another at the Cuellar Community Center. They'll start at 6:30. It's free to go, but if you want to participate, you do have to sign up. City Council will vote on the budget on September 18th.
And now we're going to take a live look outside. 88 degrees out there, my friends. All right, let's get you ready now for the rest of the week. Potential rain chances. Also a cold front, but don't get too excited when you hear that. Adam.
I'm glad you said that. Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, we hear that term, and after our summers, you know, we get excited, but it's not going to impact us. But it is a sign that we're almost in September. Our average first cold front through San Antonio is late September. Now, the cold front that I'm talking about is impacting North Texas. We'll take a look at it in a moment. We do have rain chances a little bit next couple of days, but we could see increasing rain chances for Sunday and Monday in particular. That's really what we're focusing on for where we could really see a rise in the rain chances. And it's a weatherversary, basically right now, as we speak. This time, 8 years ago, Hurricane Harvey made landfall along the Texas coast. We'll take a look at the stats and the map from that in just a bit. First of all, our rain chances, about 30% next couple of afternoons. So that's Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday and Friday, sunny and dry, of course, right near 100. And then into the weekend, we see rain chances come back. Right now we have 30% Sunday and Monday. We're pretty much ready to boost those, just waiting for a little more data. And there's the possibility we could keep raising those rain chances. It really hinges on another cool front that could get closer to us and maybe stall overhead. And so this is a cold front that hasn't even developed yet. We can't measure it, hasn't even formed. So it's hard to really trust that data. But as we get closer to it, we'll have more confidence and keep you updated. Starting around 3 o'clock tomorrow, a few pop-up downpours here and there, as usual. My disclaimer, don't pay close attention to the exact location. They could really be anywhere on the map at any time here. I just think the computer does a good job at showing overall coverage at any given time and the quantity of showers and downpours. And there could be a few lightning strikes mixed in. Not expecting anything severe. If you're lucky, or I should say the most fortunate neighborhoods, could get a quick ½ inch to an inch of rain. Most of the action today was Oklahoma on into Arkansas and then even parts of northern New Mexico. Now, the cold front is off to the north, and on the cool side of it, that's where they had some shower and thunderstorm activity. Now, I say cool side, look at the temperatures right now. 65 in Amarillo, 74 Wichita Falls, 73 in Lubbock. Oklahoma City, mid-60s. Throughout Kansas, we're in the 60s. But as a reminder, here in San Antonio, we're at 88. Tomorrow afternoon, the high temperatures, Amarillo and Lubbock, not even getting out of the 60s. Abilene and Dallas, only mid-80s. And the longer range forecast from the Climate Prediction Center, we're talking August 31st through September 4th. So that's what, Sunday on into next week. Trend below average for a good chunk of the central part of the country and even North Texas. Around here, we're well into the 90s, even right around 100 Thursday and Friday, then mid-90s by this weekend. Weak tropical storm outside of Bermuda. It's weakening, moving off into the North Atlantic. And here's the anniversary. The weatherversary we were talking about is basically this time, 8 years ago, Category 4 Harvey made landfall, 130 mile per hour winds, 12.5-foot storm surge. It dumped feet of rain because it just sat in place and then finally moved along. Up one rain gauge measured 60.58 inches of rain. Really quickly, 98, our high temperature today. So we remain at 16 triple digit days. Tomorrow we'll be back to 97, so mid 70s in the morning. 97 in the afternoon, just like what we had today. And going forward, no big temperature swings, just watching the weekend.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so much pressure on a young kid that's only played a handful of college football games, Mary.
You know what, Steve? If Arch Manning accomplishes anything to the likes of you, Steve Spriester, then you will have had a pretty good career.
There
the last
you go.
time you're tossing to me for sports.
I know, Mary.
While I'm anchoring, so just had to point that out. Love you, Steve. All right, yes, Arch Manning talking about how he's handling mounting expectations coming up, and our first big game coverage. Game of the week of the 2025 season features an interesting twist. That and more after the break.
It's go be him. You know, that's really our messaging to all of our players, though. You know, you don't have to do anything you've never done before. You don't have to, we're not asking any superhuman efforts of you to do anything that is extraordinary.
Football fans may want Arch Manning to be extraordinary, but Sark has different messaging for his quarterback in big board sports. Well, Texas is ranked #1 in the preseason AP Top 25 for the first time in program history. The Longhorns head to Columbus this Saturday to face #3 Ohio State, and all eyes will be on the big name QB Arch Manning. Manning is the preseason Heisman Trophy favorite despite just 2 starts in 2 years sitting behind Quinn Ewers. Here's Manning on how he's managing expectations.
I mean, I think that's all of us at Texas, and I think we kind of try to shift the narrative. We're going for everyone else. Target's not on our back. We got the red dot on everyone else. Yeah, I think I just trust my training, trust the coaches, the practice plan, and go through my regular week of prep, and once the time comes, be ready to roll.
Well, this Saturday, UTSA football opens its season against #19 Texas A&M at Kyle Field. But come time for the Roadrunners' home opener against Texas State on September 6th, both teams will get to play on new turf in the Alamo Dome. This upgraded turf system replaces the previous surface, which the Dome has had since 2019. And as you can see, the paint job is pristine. UTSA at home is 29-3 in the Jeff Traylor era. Well, the Reagan football team opens 2025 against the program that knocked them out of the playoffs last year, the Brennan Bears. It'll be quite the battle. And that's why it's our big game coverage game of the week right out of the gate. Preston Meyer was promoted from defensive coordinator to head coach this offseason, and the Rattlers will begin their quest for a 3rd district championship in 4 seasons against the team that started and ended their season last year. The Rattlers won the first meeting 31-9, but would suffer a 28-7 defeat in the first round of the playoffs.
They're 2 perennial, playoff teams in San Antonio, and so, having the opportunity to see those guys early on is what we want to see. We want to play good people so we can play good people in the playoffs.
We're going to bring a lot of energy no matter who we play, but especially that game, first game of the season, we're all ready to go out there, play as hard as we can, do whatever we can to win.
I kind of think it fuels our fire a little bit, makes us want to win a little bit more, and just makes us really hungry to keep on winning this year.
Well, here's the matchup. Reagan and Brennan kick off at 7:30 on Friday at Heroes Stadium. You'll hear from Brennan in the coming days. And here is our Week 1 BGC road trip. We take you to the Texas Hill Country for the first week of high school football since the devastating floods. First, Kerrville as Tybee hosts Del Rio, Center Point where Pettis visits town, and Comfort, who's hosting Brackett. All those games kick off at 7 o'clock, and all the highlights will air later that evening on the Nightbeat.
They're a very good team. They're explosive, they're fast, they're strong, and it's overall just a good competition. That's one thing about Northside. We always gonna bring it to the best of our ability. So I'm happy to play them again.
They're a great team, and I'm excited to go challenge ourselves for the first game. They're a playoff team like last year, so us being able to play that good of a team straight out the gate will for sure help us get ready for the rest of the season.
The countdown to the 4th annual KSAT Pigskin Classic is on this Thursday at Ferris Stadium. Sotomayor and Clark duke it out live right here on KSAT 12. And join us for our pregame show beginning at 6:30. All right, does Dak Prescott think Micah Parsons will play Week 1 after the break?